Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I make videos about books. Today we are going to be counting the number of unread books that I own. And there's a lot. Not as many as some of the accounts that I've seen making a video like this, but there's a substantial amount, like more books than anyone needs. So we're gonna count them today. I already have on my Goodreads all of them documented, but I think I'm missing some. So this is kind of like a recount, I guess. Okay, I made a list of different genres that I think I own, and I'm going to write down how many books I have from each genre because I don't know, and I'd like to know where I have most of my books, what genre that is. So I have classics, romance, thriller, contemporary fiction, historical fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and short stories. And then I'm going to add another one that's just like other. So I'll see if I need to add any other categories, but that's what, oh, fantasy. We're gonna see. So let's get started. First of all, this entire bookshelf, I have read every book on it. So this whole thing, we don't have to count, which is great. So off to a really good start. Except for I have a whole book cart and another bookshelf to get through. Okay, I wanted to start off on this little bookshelf, floating bookshelf that I have that just has a bunch of classics in kind of special editions, I suppose. Starting off strong, I have not read any of these Steinbeck Centennial editions. I have just bought them because they are cute. So I have only read Of Mice and Men. We have 1, 2, 3, East of Eden, Grapes of Wrath, Canary Row, and then The Pearl, which is a tiny one. So that 4. Then I have these that I just bought, the Penguin English Library Classics, that I think are so pretty, especially this one. But I have not read this one. I read Charlotte Bronte for the first time last year, and I want to get to all the Brontes. So that, 5. Jane Eyre, I've read. Sense and Sensibility. Okay, nice. Sense and Sensibility, I have not read, but what a pretty cover. So we have to read that. 6. And then Northanger Abbey I have read. Great Expectations I've read. Mrs. Dalloway I have not read. Then I have these little classics that I love. They're the Wordsworth classics. This is Peter Pan. Have not read that. So 8. I've read Great Gatsby. I've read Christmas Story, and I've read Frankenstein and Dracula. So we got 8 classics to start. Okay, we're gonna continue on the classics train for a bit before I like set up my tripod. Down here I have hanging The Secret Garden, which I have not read and have been meaning to read for so long. So 9. And then I haven't read any of these Anne of Green Gable collection, and there are 8 of them. So, and then 18 for, what is this? A Little Princess. Then up here I've read Dracula, have not read The Age of Innocence. 19, read Chekhov's Plays. The House of Mirth, I have not read. 20, 21, Daisy Miller. That one's tiny, I need to just get to that. 21. Then up here is my Jane Austen Wordsworth editions, but I'm not going to count any of them because they're honestly just for show. I'm never going to read a Jane Austen novel out of this because I just don't think they're very user-friendly, I guess. But those are there. Then 22, Heidi. 23, William Blake, Songs of Innocence. And 24 is Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. Read Jane Eyre. 25, Little Women. 26, I'm not going to count that twice because I already counted Anne of Green Gables. Also over here I have a few Barnes & Noble edition classics. So I haven't read A Room with a View, so 27. David Copperfield, haven't read. 28. Wives and Daughters, haven't read. 29. Middlemarch, I am almost done with, so I'm not going to count that. Oops. So yeah, those are all of my books on the floor around me right now. I was going to just like go through them and then take you to my other bookshelf, but I figured this was, I don't know, easier. I've also been wanting to rearrange my book cart, so that. I also separated them into categories, and sorry if some of these are in completely the wrong category. Some of them, like, I felt like had overlapping genres and I didn't know where to put them. So I have a bunch in general fiction that I don't know if it actually belongs there, so don't attack me. We're going to start with classics since we're on a classics roll. We have Evil Under the Sun. We have Always Lived in the Castle. Carmilla, Persuasion. Wuthering Heights. Pride and Prejudice. That I don't know how I haven't read that. I've been in the play, if that counts. Wheels, Norwegian Wood. Kafka on the Shore, The Bluest Eye, No Longer Human, Tess of D'Ubervilles, Tess, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicles, Portnoy's Complaint, Middlesex, A Single Man, and Daddy's Gone A-Hunting. So those are all of my classics. Let's count them up. Okay, that was 17 books. So my total for classics is 46. That's gonna take me many years to get through. Next, we're gonna go through romance because that's what's next to me. That's why. Okay, wait for it. It Happened One Summer. Meet Me Under the Mistletoe. In a Holidays. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. One Last Stop. The Stand-In, which I love the cover of. A Brush with Love. 7 Days in June. Magnolia Parks, which I have started, but am not fully through, so I'm counting it as unread. Mammoth. The Legacy. Wait, why are we matching right now? Me and her. Reminders of Him. Loose Lips. Love and Other Words. Love on the Brain. Book Lovers. I have a pile. And lastly, Terms and Conditions. Also, those didn't include my young adult romances. That is another category now. Okay, we have 17 romances, which is actually not that bad. I think I could probably get through that this year if I just like prioritize these 17, which I'm excited for pretty much all of them except for like 1 or 2. So I think I can do that, which is good. Because like last year I read about over 20 romances, I think. Wait, no, over like 40. Yeah, like over 40. So I can definitely get through 17. Cool. That makes me feel a little better. Let's do fantasy. That's another kind of small pile. And some of these, again, I don't know if they count as fantasy. Some of them are like dystopian or sci-fi, but just books that have fantastical elements. Okay, sign here, Darling Girl. So Peter Pan retelling. A Court of Frost and Starlight, A Court of Wings and Ruin. I started buying these because they were like on sale at Target and they're kind of expensive, so figured I should. Then Dance of Thieves, The Book of Gothel, which was a complete cover buy. And I love like villain retellings. The Night Circus that I don't have the cover for. This giant mammoth that is The Priority of the Orange Tree, which should count for like 5 books. And Sea of Tranquility, which is I think like dystopian sci-fi. So for those there are 9, so not that bad, but again, fantasy is not a top genre of mine, so I probably won't even get through that 9, but here's to hoping. Then we're gonna do nonfiction because that's another small pile. We're like getting through the small piles before general fiction and thrillers. Living in the Light, which is a little yoga book. One of my like New Year's resolutions is to do yoga, so have that. Have not opened it, but I have been doing yoga. Then Signs, Save the Cat writes a novel. It's on novel writing. And then Your First Novel. Then we have some memoirs. I Want to Die, But I Want to Eat Taboki. John Green, the Anthropocene Reviewed. Not even like a huge John Green fan. I just found this signed edition at the thrift store, so I had to. But that's gonna take a long time to get to. I'm Glad My Mom Died. Then Crying in H Mart, which I'm planning on getting to this weekend, so that should be out of the way. And that was short. That was 8 books, so I hopefully should get through all of those this year. Any poetry section, poetry category, so we're just gonna go through that very fast, which is Winter Recipes for the Collective. I obviously want to read this in winter, and it is less than 50 pages, so. And this is so adorable. Love Poems by Pablo Neruda. It's so cute. And then this, Mary Oliver Devotions. And this is a collection of like all of her poems, or like the best ones. So yes, 3 poetry books. Okay, next we're gonna do short stories. These are short story collections that I have. So we have A Christmas Memory, 9 stories, Raise High the Roof Beam, Carpenters, and Seymour, an introduction. Homesick for Another World, Black Swans, Great American Short Stories. This is like a big collection. Also, I love when a paperback book has this. It just feels so sturdy and nice, and I love this cover. And then in the same kind of edition, the Signature Classics, Grimm's Fairy Tales. This is just the cutest little cover. And then Her Body and Other Parties, which I like have to get to because I have had this for literal years. So that is 8 short story collections. 8 is like the magic number for some of these. Okay, next we're gonna go through the historical fiction because I only have 3 and I don't know if they're all even historical fiction. The Great Alone, I know that this is historical fiction. Pachinko, and The Clockmaker's Daughter. I think this is like fantasy, but also has dual timelines, so I didn't know where to put it, so we're putting it there. So 3 historical fiction. Let's tackle thriller. I have like 3 piles, so quite a lot. If We Were Villains, Mexican Gothic. Also, this is thriller slash horror. The Silent Patient, Then She Was Gone. I don't know if this is thriller, but it sounded kind of thrillery. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. The Guest List. Room, another one that I don't know if it's thriller or just general fiction. Then these 2 tiny books, which is An Elderly Lady Must Not Be Crossed and An Elderly Lady Is Up to No Good. So, okay, next pile. Okay, this is a manga, but it's thrillery, horror-y, Shiver. And it's the only manga or graphic novel that I own, so I don't want to make another, you know, category. Then The Villa, Stephen King's 11/22/63, another ginormous one. I think I will do that partially on audiobook because thick. Dark Matter, I'm very excited to get to that one, but also I don't know if that's like considered a thriller. Verity, The Final Girl Support Group. We have The Perfect Couple, The Last Time I Lied, All the Dangerous Things, A Flicker in the Dark, Blacktop Wasteland, Greenwich Park, that actually takes place in England and not in New York, like my American-centered brain thought it did. Final Girls, and 56 Days. Whew. Okay, that wasn't as many as I thought, I guess. Let's count them. Okay, that was 23 thrillers. I could probably do that in a year, but I don't know. I feel like thrillers are the ones that I buy the quickest, like without thinking, because if the premise sounds interesting, I'm gonna want to buy it. So I am guessing I'll probably buy more and push some to the back, which is not what I should do, but let's just be honest. Now we're gonna do the general fiction because I think some of these might be young adults, so I'll save the young adult ones for last. We have My Year of Rest and Relaxation, If I Had Your Face, The Good Son, The Fortunes of Jaded Women, Yerba Buena, Firefly Lane, Night Crawling, All My Rage, The Odyssey, not that Odyssey, Citizen Girl, I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say, The Bachelor, Sirens and Muses, The Husband's Secret, which might be a thriller, but I didn't know, Imposter Syndrome, The Goldfinch, and The Secret History. Then the next pile, The Paper Palace, which has one of my favorite covers, minus the sticker, the permanent sticker. Summer Darlings, which might be historical fiction. The Paris Hours, Writers and Lovers. Severance, which might be sci-fi. Let me see. Okay, this is kind of dystopian, so I'm actually gonna count this with the fantasy reads. Less Normal People, Tokyo Ueno Station, Shop Girl, The Kite Runner, Panenka, Several People Are Typing, Milk Fed, Winter, My Dark Vanessa, The Light Pirate, and Dog Park. So that is all of those. Let's count. 32 books in that category. Definitely will not be getting through all 32. I already know this year. Last category is young adult. All right, we have young adult. So The Depths, Better Than the Movies, I Kissed Shara Wheeler, The Honeys, such a fun, Loveless, 5 Survive, The Agathas, The Final Gambit, The Hawthorne Legacy, and Good Girl, Bad Blood. 10 young adult books. All right, the results are in for how many books I have that I haven't read. So we have classics, 46, romance, 17, thriller, 23, fantasy, 10, contemporary fiction, 32, historical fiction, 3, young adult, 10, nonfiction, 8, poetry, 3, and short stories, 8. My cat has been sitting here next to me this entire time. It's very cute. We're gonna count those up now using a calculator because I cannot do mental math. And the total, oh my god, 160. Yay! That's so many. Okay, let's see how many normal, like, contemporary reads. Okay, I have 114 non-classics and then 46 classics. Okay, definitely will not be finishing all of these, but I think I could at least get through like maybe 75, not 75%, like 75 books, and then just have like 25 new books that I buy because I usually read about 100 books. We'll see. But yeah, those are all of my books. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know how many unread books you have, because I would like to know that I'm not the only one that buys a bunch of books. Well, I know I'm not the only one. There's so many people on YouTube that have more books than me, but still a lot. And people in my life that aren't readers are like, are you okay? The people in my life that aren't readers don't understand this. And yeah, I do need to read more of my physical TBR. But yeah, hope you enjoyed and have a good rest of your day. Bye.